First alert for the first half of the day is dry. The second half of the day, clouds increase. There'll be a few showers.
Fixing to see something here about Miss Obama that I support in regard to her endeavors. But before we do that, I want you to watch this presentation right here.
With a passion to change the world.
I knew I could make a difference nursing-wise.
But nothing prepared her for war.
It was just like, oh my gosh, where am I?
She saved lives in the midst of tragedy.
They need to understand that we serve too. We may not have carried a gun, but some of the things that we saw and that we experienced were horrific.
The reason she volunteered and the gift she never takes off. The Wall That Heals, tonight at 10 on WPSD Local 6.
The Wall That Heals. Now let's move on to our next Sigma here. Bear with me just for a second. Right here. Here we go.
And to make sure that every girl on the planet has the same opportunity that I've had.
Former First Lady Michelle Obama, wife, mother, activist, joining us in her
This will be a good program.
television interview since leaving.
Please listen up.
To celebrate International Day of the Girl, a special event focused on bringing attention, action, and
I've always supported her.
to improving girls' lives around the world. For the next hour, we go global. From Jenna Bush Hager in East Africa, meeting women inspiring change for future generations.
And is your job done?
Not yet, just starting. Until every girl is touched, I'm not leaving.
To the powerful voices of Kelly Clarkson, Jennifer Hudson, and Megan Trainor performing here live on the Plaza. Along with special appearances by Carly Kloss, Rita Pinto, and Zendaya. Plus, Mrs. Obama has a big announcement she'll be making right here. Today, Thursday, October 11th, 2018.
International Day of the Girl. We have a star-studded hour in store for you, but first, without further ado, our special guest, help us welcome former First Lady Michelle Obama. She is here with a special announcement about an issue that is near and dear to her, and we welcome her. Mrs. Obama, good morning.
Good morning. Nice to see you. How are you?
Great to see you. My goodness.
Wow.
Just welcome. I would just like to say we did not all plan to wear white. This just happened.
It feels like a white day.
Yes.
By the way, can I just say, being First Lady must have been super, super cool. But what is the coolest thing about being a former First Lady? It's the small things. Yeah. It's opening up my door and walking out and enjoying the weather and sitting on my patio. It's the small things. It's going to my girls' game.
Yeah.
And just really being a mom. So there's nothing new that's going on. It's just that we're out in the real world. We have a house.
I was just thinking about you and the former president in your own house. Like, is he driving you crazy? Are you like, take out the trash? I mean, it's a little different than being at the White House.
One of the keys to a successful marriage is separate bathrooms. So as long when he enters my bathroom, sometimes I'm like, why are you in here?
What are you doing?
And he's like, I live here. Can I enjoy my bathroom too? But he's been good. We've both been busy. We're working on books. So that keeps us busy, and we've got kids in college, one kid in college, one on the way. So we've got a senior in high school. So it's all the drama that goes with, well, you guys don't know this yet.
Not yet.
But senior year is quite intense because it's testing, it's applications, it's grades. So we are riding that wave with our seniors.
Speaking of your adorable girls, I was watching an old interview you did with Oprah when you were leaving the White House, and you said the 8 years in the White House are either going to make or break my girls.
Yeah.
So what is the verdict on how it worked?
They're doing well. I'm so proud of them. I mean, and they are some of the reasons why this issue means so much to me. Because I think about what it means for them to have their voice and to have come out of those 8 years confident and poised. As Jenna knows, it is tough growing up in the public eye. And they spent the majority of their life in the national, international spotlight with all the criticisms and the judgments. And now we're in the era of social media where every little thing gets blown out of proportion. But they are down to earth, they are humble, they are normal, and it has been a huge relief. I said this before, it took me several months in the White House before I could take a deep breath because I knew that this transition wasn't going to take them out. And I talk about in my book, remembering the first day they went to school. And it was before Barack took office. We were in the Hay Adams, so we were living in a hotel out of suitcases. They were starting a new school. They were in their armored vehicles with men with guns going off to a new school. And I just thought, what on earth are we doing to them? And I just prayed and hoped and thank God they're good. And it's because of the love of so many people in their lives and the support. So they are on the other end, and I'm so proud of them. They're doing well.
I'm sure you're proud.
Thank you for asking.
And relieved. And these are tough times politically that we are living in. You were famous at the Democratic Convention for saying, when they go low, we go high. And just this week, the former Attorney General, Eric Holder, who worked for your husband, said the Democrats should have a new motto, when they go low, we should kick them. Hillary Clinton said, how can we be civil when our opponents are trying to take away everything we stand for? And I just thought, what would you say now about your motto? Do you think it still stands when they go low?
Absolutely. Fear is not it's not a proper motivator. Hope wins out. And if you think about how you want your kids to be raised, how you want them to think about life and their opportunities. Do you want them afraid of their neighbors? Do you want them angry? Do you want them vengeful? If we think of the values that we try to promote to our children, Savannah, you're a mother right now. And at this point, you have to think about what are the things you're telling your girls? Which motto do you want them to live by? And I have to think about that as a mother, as someone who's a role model to young girls. We want them to grow up with promise and hope. And we can't model something different if we want them to be better than that.
There was a tiny moment at John McCain's funeral where former President Bush handed you a cough drop. It may have been a nothing to some people, but when you watch that moment, we realized how important that tiny moment was, right?
I didn't realize at the time that anybody noticed what we were doing. We were sitting together, President Bush and I, we are forever seatmates because of protocol. That's how we sit at all the official functions. So he is my partner in crime at every major thing where all the formers gather. So we're together all the time, and I love him to death. He's a wonderful man. He's a funny man. And it was a simple gesture. He was getting a cough drop from Laura, and I looked over and I said, hand me a cough drop. He was like, oh, okay. And I will add that they were old cough drops. That's the funny thing, because they were in the little White House box, the Altoids, and I was like, how long have you had these? And he said, a long time. We got a lot of these.
Well, it was one of those moments where people felt like, oh, there's a little bipartisan moment, even just as simple as a cough drop.
That's why it matters so much, because that's what people are hungry for. They're hungry for what we all know, that, party doesn't separate us, color, gender, those kind of things don't separate us. You know, it's the messages that we send. And if we're the adults and the leaders in the room and we're not showing that level of decency, we cannot expect our children to do the same. So that's what I think about when I think about the gestures and the symbols and what our words mean and the impact that it has. I think about the next generation every single time.
We have a lot to say on that topic, the next generation. We're going to pause our conversation just here. And when we come back, Mrs. Obama's big announcement about what she's doing to help girls around the world.
Plus, Jenna takes our celebration global, introducing us to the remarkable women that she met on a trip to Africa.
And this crowd isn't here for nothing. We've got an epic concert, something we've never done. Back-to-back performances. Kelly Clarkson, Jennifer Hudson, Meghan Trainor. We are celebrating International Day.
Former First Lady, Miss Michelle Obama, is joining us.
That's right. She's got a big announcement. She's announcing a brand new initiative today. It's focused on girls' education. A quality education can lift a girl and her community out of poverty, but unfortunately, nearly 100 million girls are missing out on school entirely and a lifetime of opportunity.
And that's why we are here and right now. Mrs. Obama is officially launching the Global Girls Alliance. Take a look.
Now you've got us excited. Your alliance is going to support more than 1,500 grassroots organizations. You could have picked any issue in the world. Why this one?
Well, the stats show that when you educate a girl, you educate a family, a community, a country. It makes no sense that the strength of our families, that girls and women are not getting educated, that they're not in school. So it absolutely makes sense for us. If we care about climate change, if we care about poverty, if we care about maternal child health, then we have to care about education. And as you said, right now there are 98 million adolescent girls who aren't in school. And let's just stop and think about that. Think about our daughters, with all their promise, with all that they have in them. You know, even now at this young age, that there is something they're burning in them that is dying to get out. Well, that is true for millions of girls around the country, and they are battling through misperceptions, violence, stigma, to get their way into a classroom. And many of them don't have access to a classroom. So we want to play a role in building an alliance of young people that are out there doing the work on the ground, and we want to give them an opportunity to network with one another, because working on these issues out in the world can be lonely. So you imagine that you're a leader, and Jenna has talked to some of the leaders on the ground. They need to have links to resources and training and technical support. The Alliance is going to provide that for them, a way for them to come together on a regular basis.
Well, you mentioned Jenna. This work has already been done. It started to be beginning, and she actually traveled to East Africa to connect with a remarkable woman who is creating change in her community, and she is joining with Mrs. Obama's Global Girls Alliance. She's an adoptive mother of 9 children, and as you're about to see, an inspiration to thousands more.
14-year-old Nellie is about to do something many girls her age have given up on. Every morning she leaves the tiny shack she shares with her mother and sisters and walks 2 miles to school. Nellie is unusual because in Uganda, only 2 out of 10 girls make it past the 7th grade. Nearly half are married by the time they're 18.
There's no one telling them you can't do it.
Yeah.
All they hear is that you're stupid, you can't do it.
Monica Niraguhabwa was told that too.
You never saw a woman drive? Never, never.
Growing Growing up in the slums of Kampala, even her own parents told her not to bother with school.
Boys are always given the priority. They're taught to be confident, and the girls are taught to be submissive, taught to be quiet, taught not to be loud.
Not to use their voice.
And not to use their voice.
Any money the family could scrape together went to her brother's education first.
I had my first shoe when I was 13 years old.
13 years old.
When I got those shoes, it was like the best day of my life. But I realized that really, from my own family, it occurs to be a girl. This is wrong. Something needs to change. And the way they look at themselves.
So Monica turned that curse into a crusade, demanding that she go to school too, and becoming the first in her family to graduate from college.
Are we together?
But instead of leaving these slums, she came back.
You went to university in London.
Yes.
You could have stayed there. And
I could have stayed there, but I said no, this is not who I am. Because if more and more educated girls left, then who will do it?
So she created Girl Up Uganda, a program that teaches all girls to demand more. At this market, they're not just cleaning up trash, they're also picking up important leadership skills. Each is teamed up with an older sister.
Someone that you can talk to, someone who says they believe in you. Welcome.
She shows me how it works at Missouri Designs, where women teach each other to sew, creating beautiful dresses and handbags. Remember Nellie? Her dream is to be a fashion designer. So a seamstress takes her under her wing, showing her how to make her own dress.
what do you think?
It's amazing. Yeah. Exposing a girl like Nelly, then you can sit on this machine. Tomorrow she'll be a fashion designer. She'll be a big deal in New York. She'll be a big deal in Uganda.
Can I wear your clothes when you come to New York?
But before that can happen, a girl once afraid to raise her hand in class will have to overcome her fears at a neighborhood fashion show.
She's going to walk on the catwalk.
She's going to walk on the catwalk and show the power that there is in girls.
A beautiful transformation that proves when given the chance, every girl can be a star. Even Nellie's mentors moved to tears.
Why were you crying?
I'm so happy. Yeah, I have a tear of joy.
Does it make you proud?
Yeah.
And is your job done?
Not yet, it's just starting. Until every girl is touched, I'm not leaving it. When I see these girls smiling, happy, being confident, being able to raise their heads to speak out, I see the world that I wanted for myself. Now I see that it's possible for them.
We did it! All right, and we are delighted to have my hero, Monica, here with this morning. We loved spending time with you at your organization. You've helped thousands of kids stay in school and dream big, including, of course, Nellie, and you're our hero. Is it amazing to be part of this?
It's very exciting for us globally to say we need to prioritize on girls' education. The time is now. We need to work as a collective to raise arms to say this is the time. We need to rally around the Global Girls Alliance and say it's time for girls. Girls now, girls are the future.
Girls are the future. Y'all can learn more about her story at today.com. Savannah and Hoda.
Jenna, thank you. Michelle, you met her yesterday. Your eyes are welling up. It's a moment.
She is phenomenal, and she is one of millions. And that's what this alliance is intended to do, to find energy and leadership like that and lift it up and support it and fund it. One of the best parts of the alliance is the fund that will allow people. We're teaming up with GoFundMe, and people right now, if you hear about these programs, you can learn about them online, but you can help support them in real time. And that's what people like Monica need. They need resources on the ground.
I was so struck by Monica's voice. It's so clear and it is so loud. And I was thinking about women's voices in the time that we're in right now. In some ways, they've never been stronger or clearer. We've obviously had this Me Too movement. So much has happened in 1 year. I wonder what your thoughts are on it. Are you surprised at how much has changed?
I'm surprised at how much has changed, but how much has not changed. And I think that's where the fire is coming from. Enough is enough. The world is a sadly dangerous place for women and girls, and we see that again and again. And I think young women are tired of it. They're tired of being undervalued. They're tired of being disregarded. They're tired of their voices not being invested in and heard. And it's not just around the world. That's happening right here in this country. And if we're going to change that, we have to give them the tools and the skills through education to be able to lift those voices up.
There are some who believe that the Me Too movement went to a point, and some say there's a backlash that's happening, that now men are saying, well, wait a minute, what about us? Your thoughts on that?
Well, that's what happens with change. The change is not a direct, smooth path. There's going to be bumps and resistance. I mean, there's been a status quo in terms of the way women have been treated, what their expectations have been in the society, and that is changing. And there's going to be a little upheaval. There's going to be a little discomfort. But I think it's up to the women out there to say, sorry. Sorry that you feel uncomfortable, but I'm now paving the way for the next generation. And we as mothers, we have to think about the path that we want to pave for our girls. And if we don't start setting the tone now, they're going to walk into a world where they're still dealing with those issues in the workplace and at home and in schools. And I don't want that for your girls. And they're young. Your girls are likely to be the beneficiaries of this work, this voice, these opportunities.
You've talked about getting out the vote. That's another of your initiatives. You were really candid recently saying, it's kind of depressing out there, politics. You could have easily checked out and go lived a nice life. Mm-hmm. Why did you decide to engage? And when you say that politics is depressing right now, what do you mean by that?
Well, I chose to engage because there's no choice. I talked to some of the girls yesterday about that. They asked me a question about how do you stay resilient in the face of difficulty. And the thing I wanted to remind them, that I have to remind myself in times when I get down, is that change is hard and it takes time. And we are planting seeds every day. And the alternative is to do nothing, to say nothing, to sit back and watch things go unchanged. But with every statement that we make, with every act, with every dollar we spend on this issue, we're moving the needle. And that's what we have to do. We have to move it slowly but surely, and I certainly am going to play my part. I made a commitment to girls around the world when I was in the White House that I would not walk away from this issue when I left. And this is my fulfillment of that promise through the Obama Foundation.
Before I let you go, we only have a few seconds left. You've been asked 1 billion times, I think a few by me, would you ever run for elected office? And you always say, no way. But have you ever been asked, why not? Why not?
Yes, and I've said it time and time again. This is the one thing you learn. You understand, as a woman, you understand where your voice works best.
Right.
Where you want to operate, what space you want to be in.
Right.
I have never wanted to be a politician.
Right.
And it's one of those things that nothing has changed in me to make me want to run for elected office.
Absolutely.
I want to serve. I want to do work.
Absolutely.
I want to be out there, but there's so many ways to make an impact. Politics is just not my thing.
Absolutely.
It's as simple as that. And that's what I want these girls. Find your passion. Don't let somebody
Right.
tell you what they think.
Right.
They think you should be. It's up to you to determine what your message and how you want to use your voice.
Sure it is.
This is how I want to work in the world. I want to work on positive issues with girls around the world.
It's great to have this conversation with Mrs. Obama.
Thank you for
We have a great concert coming up. We should also mention, if you want to find out more about the Global Girls Alliance, you can just go to today.com. All the information is there.
Again, we are just getting started on the plaza. We have a lot of music coming up, but before that, we're going to go to Al with a check of the weather.
That's right. We've got a couple of special guests to get to, but first let's show you what's going on as far as your weather's concerned today. Heavy rain due to Michael along the mid-Atlantic coast into the northeast later. A freeze and frost warning. Got a little shower.
All right, we're going to move on forward here.
Ellie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Stick around. Big concert coming up. Kelly Clarkson, Jennifer Hudson, Megan Trainor. All that after your local news and weather.
Michelle Obama. We are joined now by 3 very talented women and some pretty talented little girls. Our daughters are along with us this morning. And welcome, Megan, Jennifer, River Rose, Haley Joy, and Vail are here as well.
This is quite a moment for our little girls. I don't think they realize what's happening.
Why are we here?
Yeah, exactly.
What are we doing?
We've been talking about the Day of the Girl. We're going to have a great concert of all 3 of you wonderful ladies. But Kelly, when you think about your little girl, when you think about the future and you look out there, what do you picture for River Rose?
You know what? She kind of came into the world super bold and confident. Yeah, so I'm just kind of at this point trying to tame it.
You're just trying to direct it.
So I'm supporting she is.
And Jennifer, you have such strong words for women. You are a powerful figure. What does it mean to you to know that you are an example for a lot of women?
Okay. You know, it's a blessing to be able to come from powerful women, and all I want to be able to do is continue to set an amazing example for the youth to come that comes after us. You know what I mean? That's important to me.
Yeah.
And Megan, I got to tell you, your music is so empowering. Your audience is filled with young girls. You kind of have a responsibility, don't you, when you get out there in the world?
I guess so, yeah. I'm just being myself, and if it helps all the girls out there, I love you so much. I love the fans, and I love writing songs for everyone to inspire them.
Well, Mrs. Obama, I was just saying in our conversation last half hour, when you said that about how we feel about our girls and knowing how much potential are in them, it really drives home the point about the work you want to do.
Absolutely. But any good alliance needs allies, and I want to thank these women on stage because this is the way that we want people to step up and help. If you care about this issue, if you care about your daughters, your sisters, we want you to be a part of that alliance, and I'm grateful to all 3 of you for being amazing role models for my girls and for all these young women out there. So proud of you guys.
Well, the good feelings are just going to keep on going, and then the good music is going to start. But first, should we get a check of the weather?
I think we should.
Let's check it.
You say I always have a check of the weather.
I'm Coco. Loves my Haley Joy. We've got actress and activist Zendaya, as well as Sarah Mercado, who's a Texas native and a Gold Award Girl Scout. Ladies, good to see you.
We're so excited to be here.
Definitely.
And I got to tell you, Zendaya, the cheer that went up from this crowd when you walked out. You're from a family of educators. Is that where your passion for activism and education comes from?
Absolutely. I mean, having 2 parents that are teachers, I think it just kind of instills something in me and really helped me value, you know, what education can bring to, especially, obviously, while we're here, women, you know. And so, I don't know, it's always empowered me, and I love watching being that kid that grew up in a classroom. It's just a really special experience.
Yeah. And Sarah, you're amongst all these girl leaders. What's it like being one of them?
It's so inspiring seeing all the girls here today and all the organizations that they represent, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity.
When you see young women or your peers out here, what's your message to them?
To just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great work, and even if it's little, those little impacts add up and can make a really big impact overall.
And how big a foundation is education for this movement, Zendaya?
I mean, it's huge. Shout out to education. That's what we're here for, right? Look at all these absolutely beautiful, brilliant. That's what we're here for. And look at them. I mean, so.
As the father of 2 girls, this is really inspiring.
Really, really important. So I'm excited to be here.
And we're excited that you guys are here as well. Let's check your weekend outlook really quickly, show you what we've got. Of course, the sun returns along the East Coast now that Michael's gone. On Friday, the chill continues in the plains. Sunshine out west. Saturday, some shop.
Who is ready to get it started?
Mrs. Obama is. First up in our all-star concert lineup to mark International Day of the Girl, Megan Trainor performing her smash hit, No Excuses. Megan, take it away.
You're
Megan Trainor, you are amazing. Up next, another powerhouse performer, Jennifer Hudson. But first, this is Today on NBC. No, Jen, you're up. This is amazing. I hope everybody's enjoying this special concert. We know our girls are. Some have danced so much they had to take their sweater off. Jennifer, we are so excited to hear from you in just a few moments.
Thrilled.
Just talk about the energy of this crowd this morning.
It's amazing. This is what girl power is all about. Don't you feel the energy?
I know, and you have a great audience. Kelly Clarkson, Michelle Obama, so many celebrities, great girls. We're going to let you
You are going to perform for the first time on TV, I'll Fight from the RBG documentary soundtrack. Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Hud.
Yeah.
mother, Kelly Clarkson, is going to perform. But first, this is Today on NBC.
Catfish craze is on at Catfish.
We are going to wrap up our special International Day of the Girl concert with an anthem for all the ladies out there. It is by the one, the only River Rose's mother, Kelly Clarkson.
We've got River here and Kelly up there. How special to perform for your little girl.
Yeah, you want to dance, baby? She is going to dance for you. She wants to sing. She wants to sing with you.
You can come up here and dance.
Okay, well, all right.
We got a lot of backup singers and dancers here.
Yes, we do. Yeah, they want to sing. You know what? Girls are also about friendship, and I think there's a huge friendship being born right here.
I think our daughters, I'm in trouble because we're on different sides of the continent.
But they want to be together
Sure,
forever.
it's a play date.
Kelly's about to, yes, Kelly's about to perform a whole lot of women. It's from her latest album, Meaning of Life. Kelly Clarkson, take it away.
Come on down, lady. Come on down.
What you say?
It gets no real, baby. Popular grit. I'm hotter than your mama's supper boy. Better get with it. Better watch your mouth and my bunny boy. If you stay at church, country boy. I ain't no girl, I'm a prostitute. All I need is a big love and I can go on biscuit on a Sunday. I got what you want. I made it to please. I got what it takes. I sure got the means. I got what you want. Sugar, honey, iced tea. All eyes on me. I love me. I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm walking just like it. I'm a whole lot of woman. Let's have that my bust to the bus. I'm a whole lot of woman. Everything I see, I don't like it. I'm a strong, badass chick with classic confidence. Yeah. One time for the breeze. Sugar, honey, iced tea, all eyes on me. Can you keep up with me? I can't do a thing about my wicked ways with gravity. Higher than the least, if I want you like me or gravity. I decided Tennessee, but Texas still must be me. The way I walk and talk, the whole world, from the top of my voice to the bottom. Anything I see, I know it. I'm a strong, bad-ass chick with classic confidence.
Coming right back. The girls have the microphone. Great job, Mommy. We're back right after this. But first, this is Today on NBC. An amazing way to celebrate International Day of the Girl. We hope everybody is feeling as inspired as we are.
We want to thank the former First Lady for joining us, and we want to thank all of our guests. We had some awesome singers you describe the concert, Megan?
The coolest concert I've ever seen in a long time.
That is absolutely right. It's been pretty incredible, hasn't it?
Mrs. Obama, we know you're known for your dance moves, and I saw you were dancing down there.
You
You
busted
can't
out
help
a few.
but dance. These strong voices on the stage just get you moving, and these young ladies.
I know.
They really showed me up today.
Next generation, and now we know what this is all about, the Global Girls Alliance. What has it meant to you ladies to be here? And it's all for the work you're doing.
Just to say that time is now, let's get started.
One of the strongest voices.
Kelly,
Oh, I didn't hear.
we want to hear your strong voice. What has this day meant to you?
Well, you know what I think this day makes me, especially having my daughter here, is I grew up like in a city that was very small with different ideals for maybe what a girl should grow up to be, and I'm glad that I grew out of that bubble and I'm raising a girl in that environment. So yeah.
We love you. We love all y'all. Y'all, that was awesome.
It's a wonderful time to be a young lady. Mrs. Obama, thank you again for launching the Global Girls Alliance here today. You can find out more at today.com. Megan Kelly today is up next after your local news. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
More Americans watch NBC.
There you go. Global Alliance for Women. That's a good movement. God bless and shalom.